on GT Channel with Sam Matani, James McKeon, and Taro Koki.
So what do you want to start off with first, Taro? Do you want to go and talk about the Golf first and do a quick spot on the review?
Sure.
Okay, well, let me share my screen, then hopefully I can try and make this magic happen. So hopefully you can see what I'm going now. So one thing I will say is I wasn't able to get my traditional automotive shots here for you, Sam. So these are the Volkswagen provided photos. I take no credit for these photographs.
That's not Sam in the background posing?
That's not Sam.
That's me about 20 years ago and
exactly.
40 pounds less.
So what is the strange thing about this is they hardly provided any photos. 5 photos in total of the car, and I was very
This almost looks like a digital rendering.
And they're all complete digital renderings, and there's no car. And this is what Volkswagen's marketing material is. So I was very, very disappointed in the car. It's in the marketing material associated with the car.
What the hell?
Exactly. For the life of me, couldn't understand why. So that's all you get. And even then, I've doubled up on 2
park
photos.
it in front of a grocery store.
I know. Well, this looks about the same quality as my, illustrations that I just showed.
Exactly. So I was just a bit disappointed with that, but I was not disappointed in the actual Golf itself.
Okay.
I thought, it comes in, I think, if I just look at my specs here on the car, I think I got it coming in at around what is it? So pulling up my numbers here. Say around 24,000 with mine. I think there's only add-ons you can get now is just with the automatic. It's $800 more. So it comes in just shy of the $24,000 figure. But it's a small, comfortable little city runabout that was completely adequate to do everything. It felt a little bit more luxurious than a $24,000 car should. My wife really liked the styling of it. We in the US here don't get the new one. We get that later in the year, probably when they come across. So we're still dealing with the older 7th generation as opposed to the 8th generation.
Okay.
But it's what you come to expect from a 1.4 liter turbo. It comes in around 100, just shy of 150 horsepower, 184 pound-foot of torque. It's great for what it does. It fit 4 people in comfortably. It does good mile per gallon. It just puts it in a nice little niche. And obviously, you know that you're going to be getting a Volkswagen. It's reliable, and it's just really easy to deal with as an everyday thing.
The interior doesn't look that bad, though.
No, like I said, it feels more expensive on the inside than a $24,000 car should.
Mm-hmm.
So it made it feel like you're in a more of a luxurious car than being in a Volkswagen.
Well, this car has been their bread and butter car for so many years now.
Yeah, it came out in 74.
Yeah.
And they've obviously had several different iterations. I was actually, funnily enough, I got the car on a Monday, but until the Friday before, I was figuring I was going to get a GTI, and then they surprised me with the non-GTI version. So let's say I was a little disappointed.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, James. Where does the GTI come in? What kind of horsepower? What kind of price?
I think the GTI is about 100 horsepower more.
Oof.
Let's see, and just I'll pull up the figures now as I look at, and yeah. So it comes in about 228 horsepower and comes in, give or take, around $29,000.
That's one of my favorite German cars.
Yeah,
the GTI. Do you remember the VR6? God, it'd be cool to see something like that too.
Yeah, and the Type R they come up with obviously as well. There's lots of great, very
the
fun.
R32, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
There's lots of different R variations on the car, and then obviously in the racing series and everything else. But honestly, the wife really liked it. She liked driving it around. She thought it was a little bit of a hoot. She definitely did not like it as much as the Q3. The Q3 is still that's the one
Audi?
she wants.
Okay.
Yes. But she did like this a lot more than she thought she would. And my sister-in-law, who was a Golf fanatic, she also was very jealous that we got to drive this car for the week and she didn't get to have fun in it.
Oh, okay. How was like rear space? Did you sit in the back or have?
Yeah, it fitted for adults fine. There was no problems with that. And then obviously if you need to put more room in there, it's a hatchback, so you can flop the seats down so you can get more room that way. But it's not obviously one that you're going to be taking out and doing big drives in of sorts. But it's perfectly adequate if there's 4 of you in the family, if the 2 adults, 2 kids, a couple of bags in the back, grocery shopping, everything that you'll probably need for 90% of the time. It totally handles it perfectly with.
Any talk of an electric version of this coming out, James?
Well, they've already got the electric version.
Of this one?
Yes.
already? Oh, they do.
And
Okay.
then they're going to be, when the new generation comes out, they're going to they're going to have an electric version with that comes out.
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
that's what I meant for this one. I mean, if it's going to
Yes.
come
So the
out at the
next
same
the
time.
generation 8, and I'm just going to pull the details up here so I know what I'm talking about. They've got a diesel version in Europe. They've got the diesel. They've got the natural gas, and then they're also going to be going a hybrid version, and then there's going to be an electric version as well.
Okay. Well, it sounds like I would agree with you, James, if you're giving the car a thumbs up, but the image is a thumbs down.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not really obviously the type that a young, enthusiastic sporting driver like myself would want to get. But if I was like Taro and had like kids that needed to go to school and didn't want to have a big Toyota SUV, perfectly adequate for that. At $24,000,
No.
it's a luxurious price point coming in at a reasonable cost if you were to map that out on a monthly basis, you know?
Yeah, the Golf's like deceivingly roomy in the inside. You know,
Yeah.
my sister owns the previous generation, and I mean, it looks compact, but once you get inside, I mean, it's super roomy. There's a lot of room in there.
Oh, your sister in Japan?
Yeah.
Oh,
She
really?
drives a Golf, yeah.
She drives a Golf up there. Okay. Well, very cool, James. I guess a thumbs up from you, yeah?
Yeah, I completely give it a thumbs up. I really like that. I can't obviously give it 2 thumbs up like I gave for the Audi Q3 because that is at this point now for my wife, it is the benchmark.
And the Ram truck.
And for me, obviously, the Ram truck,
The Ram truck,
the Dodge,
Mercedes
the Ram. That is where it's like that. That is the best car I've ever driven. But then again, I could have fitted the Golf probably in the back of the bed of the Ram. So you know, you got to give and get here.
Okay. Okay, cool. Any party thoughts, James? And I'll go around the horn.
Well, no, I was just going to say, obviously, we've been in the midst of our COVID pandemic, and we've been talking about this a little bit, of how I've been keeping up with all the motorsports or lack of actual motorsports. But we had some drama this past weekend in the world of the esports racing, in the iRacing League, in which is the Indianapolis or the IndyCar Racing League.
Oh, I love it when things get nasty.
Well, yeah, well, one of the drivers of the IndyCar series took out the lead driver of the race, who was a Formula One driver, Lando Norris. And Lando was not happy when he was targeted by Simon Pagenaud and actually announced online to his pit crew that he was going to take out him so an IndyCar driver would win. So obviously, the net conclusion of this is that an IndyCar driver did not win. It was Shane McLaughlin, a New Zealand racing in the V8 Supercars series, that won it. But it's very interesting to say that they can have such a laissez-faire attitude in e-racing where it's okay to like just take out the opposition, and that's a thing. I mean,
do they get penalized like they do in regular races?
Well, obviously they've had lots of things come up with the different drivers where someone's made some comments maybe on a hot mic and they didn't realize they were. And
God, yeah, let's not go there.
Oh, that guy got fired, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
he lost all his responsibility. You know, he's half Japanese.
Yeah, I know. What is that?
And then they've had,
that was not his Japanese side that said that.
And they've had others that have come out that have said other things and have lost, and they've had other more humorous situations come through where one of the drivers was competing, and then his daughter came in and asked if she could play with him, and then accidentally turned off.
Yeah, I saw
God.
I read that.
So I mean, it brings it. I do really like the idea that e-racing brings everyone to a sort of family norm where you have to deal with these other constraints that come into it.
Yeah.
But I'm still disappointed that someone in a competitive nature and a professional, because this is where they're actually racing for money. It's not racing for laughs and whatnot. Right. And people, obviously, as Lando said, he works the race engineer. They spent hours driving the track, preparing, getting the strategies ready for the race. For then someone to like pit, come out 2 laps behind, and then knock you off the front.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's not right.
That's pretty bad.
Are they getting the same kind of or similar kind of prize money for placing in these races? I
think that they've got different series and running different amounts. I think that the big one, the Formula One, is up for a pot of like $500,000. I think the classic, the Racing Legends, is around 200,000 euros, and that's the one that I like the most. That's where they've got a whole series of a phenomenal set of racing drivers in that. I mean, they've got Emerson Fittipaldi, Jenson Button, Petter Solberg, to name a few, David Brabham, Jason Plato, Darren Turner. I mean, a whole host of different, and they've got them in classic 1970s Formula One cars where they're all the same.
That's pretty awesome.
And they have them go out and race. And it's like been real incredible to be able to watch them and see them go at it. I mean, it's got Juan Pablo Montoya in that. And it's a really great series where you can see, and you actually see over the weeks how people have been improving where they've been practicing.
Are they using iRacing for the platform?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see as well how the drivers are improving and getting better the weeks on, and how they're changing things around and finding out what they can do to make these improvements. I just think it's going to be really, really interesting in all of this at the end of when we all go back to work and whatnot. How many racing sims are going to be up for sale around Christmas time when no one's using them anymore?
Yeah, exactly. So cool. So you'll be keeping us informed on these e-racing developments?
I'll do my best just for you, Sam. But Sam, what I really want to be more updated on is what is happening in Chapter 21 of Red Mist.
Oh,
That's
thank
really
you.
what I'm looking forward to.
Well, I'm taking a little break now because that's like a quarter of the book already. So I'm thinking, maybe I don't want to give away too much here, but I might, because
I just know you're a generous guy, Sam, and you've got all this time, you've got all this potential and talent.
Well, no, I mean, it's okay. I don't know if it's, it's good enough to, be.
Well, you do know that Nigel McKeon, he approves it. He likes it so much. He has not got all the way to the end, but he is.
Okay, well,
I think he's at Chapter 12.
Okay, put it this way, James. When Nigel McKeon gets to the end and he wants more, I'll put up a few more chapters.
All right.
Oh, and the next chapter, Taro too. I'm so sorry. The next chapter, your wife's name comes up. So, yeah. So
I will make sure to tell her.
Well, but I mean, Nigel's got to come through. Nigel's got to read it through the end.
Yeah. And my dad's been enjoying it. He's told his friends to read it without even knowing. I've just said he's got to stick through it for the first 20 chapters.
Did he say? I mean, did he say he enjoyed it, or did he say, this is like it's all right? Or
no,
sucks?
He said usually he doesn't like these type of things and he wouldn't read it, but he's really enjoyed this one so much so he's passed it on to a few friends for them to read as well.
Wow, great.
And then Netflix will start calling you, Sam.
Exactly.
Great. And anyone who's not good to me, you be careful, because your name might appear as a very bad, ugly character. But and who knows, Ben? You might even be making an appearance in it. You never know.
I hope I'm not a corpse or something.
Hey, by the way, before we go, I just wanted to say, Taro, do you have any parting thoughts?
Oh, I'm good. Just like and subscribe. Thank you.
Like and subscribe, GT channel.
Yeah.
Oh, and then my party thoughts is that number one, on my website, samatani.com, under blogs are the Red Mist chapters. So it's a new work with some chapters in there, which I'm just kind of
a great follow-up to the prototype.
Yeah, well, it's just keeping me busy, keeping my creative juices flowing, so I don't just, too much Tiger King. I think it ruins the mind. So I have to kind of put other stuff in my mind and get it out there. And then you guys might not know this, but Ben Shu here, with his background with the Human Genome Project and his those backgrounds. Oh, Taro, don't do that.
This background?
No, not that background. But he actually helped me with the science part in the prototype, and he's mentioned in the book at the very end.
Okay. So
yeah,
Ben
that's
was
where
your
I got
source of
exactly. So how else would I have known about all that nanotechnology, all that stuff? Ben pointed me in the right direction. Because I had something else going. He goes, hey, you ought to take a look at this. And I started reading. I go, oh my God, this is awesome. So,
nice.
Look, Ben, thank you. But he was
my pleasure, Sam. I hope I didn't give you any incorrect information.
No, I haven't gotten any letters or anything, and actually won an
Okay,
award. I don't know if you know. I know you guys heard it 1,000 times, but yeah. So, all right. So, anyways, with that, thank you, Ben, for joining us and staying.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you. It was fun.
And we will definitely have to do this sometime soon, maybe live, which will be nice. So everybody, thank you for tuning in again, and we will see you probably in a couple weeks. And stay safe, and Godspeed to everyone.
Stay healthy.